Okay, so we've got the USDJPY trade on. And just to run you through the thought process now. So let me just listen to your voice note first and then and the video as well. So Neil, I get what you're saying and I'm going to cover that, and let me just listen to the voice note as well.
So while checking on our three checklists, going on to the
1 second.
So while checking on our three checklists, going on to the dollar, that is going into a bearish. This is on the 2 hour. The JPY is up and down between a bearish.
So first of all, you said the dollar is going into a bearish on the 2 hour. Okay. So remember what I said about closed candles, okay? That's the most important thing here. This is an open candle. This candle, when it opens, is always going to be some bearish and bullish and up and down and sideways. What is more important is a closed candle. So this candle right now, where it is, could literally come down to here and then just push all the way up and push all the way to our next level, right? So even though the next candle is opened and we're currently bearish, there is nothing to invalidate the fact that this market is bullish right now, okay? The only thing that will invalidate that is if this comes down and breaks this low, because this is a bullish candle if the low is broken. So right now, based on what we see, this is still bullish on the 2 hour, and the 4 hour also is bullish and broke the high of the previous bearish candle. So this is great signs on dollar. Yes, it's pulling back a little bit now, but again, we're just going to follow the rules perfectly. Absolutely, we could just take the profit on the trade, but I want you guys to do it properly. Whether this is, as I said, a win, a loss, whatever, we want to do everything properly. So at the moment, dollar is actually still bullish, and this is just an open candle. So I'm not that bothered about what this candle looks like right now. When I'll be more bothered is when the candle actually closes. So now my alert for when I'm going to be worried about the dollar is going to be here. Okay, so I've moved that now to here. So that's dollar. Let me just listen to your next one.
Bearish and a bullish, but it's a very small bullish. Down between a bearish and a bullish, but it's very up and down between a bearish and this is on the 2 hour. The JPY is up and down between a bearish and a bullish, but it's a very small bullish. So that's 1 out of 3. That's not good.
So JPY, obviously what you said, this is a bit of bullish, bit of bearish, bit of bullish, but a bit of bearish. Exactly, because the candle is still open, okay? So what we care about is the candle being closed. So before, my alert was here, right? Because if it closes, if it goes above the previous high, that's where I'm going to be concerned that things might change. But at the moment it hasn't. Another 4 hour candle has come through, which is bearish and has broken the low without breaking the high. So now, where I'm going to get worried on this one, on the 4 hour this is going to be here basically. So if that alert goes off, I would be concerned. That also would then invalidate this candle as well. Remember, this candle is a very, very nice candle because it was previously bullish, it broke the high, rejected, and then broke the low. That is a solid sign that selling pressure is still occurring on JPY basket. Okay, so again, that is absolutely fine on there as well. So that's still, in my eyes and on our rules, it is still a 2 out of 2 trade there. And if we go on to the USDJPY, let me just listen to your last bit.
And then the actual trade, the USDJPY, is going on a bearish. So does that mean we've got the 2 out of 3, which would be a good idea to close the trade?
So hopefully that answers your question. We actually have still got a 3 out of 3 because the candles that you're talking about have not closed yet, so that is no confirmation. If we go on to the 4 hour time frame, it is absolutely fine. It did get quite close. I wasn't actually staring at it, so it did get quite close, and therefore if you wanted to, you could have closed it anywhere around there, like within 10-15 pips. I don't mind if you want to close it, but I also want you to learn to hold the trade and stick and follow the rules and not just be like, oh, I've made a profit, because the problem is we will lose some trades, and then if you're not getting the most you can get out of the trades that are the winning trades, then overall the profitability is going to be impacted. So with regards to this one, obviously my alert for being concerned and worried about it was here on the 4 hours previously. Now it's going to be slightly higher because if it breaks this 4 hour candle, that's where I'm going to be concerned. And then on the 2 hour time frame, internet is really slow today, it's exactly the same place. So if it was to break the low of this candle again, then I would be concerned. Okay, so my trade is still running. I am happy to keep it still running. I have no real reasoning for it to close. We've still got space to the target. We've also got, again, this is just experimental, don't do this yet, but this trade could come anywhere between this area here, because we've got that 2 hour resistance, that 2 hour liquidity, and then obviously we've got the 4 hour liquidity that we draw on as well. So this market has the potential of pushing anywhere into this box, and anywhere into this box is where I would be happy to actually, you know, secure the profits and everything. Now, if you wanted to, and especially if you are busy, you know, if you're not fully on it, and yeah, like you're not properly on the charts or anything like that at all, then what you can do, because we know now that everything is moving in alignment, everything is moving quite good. I don't know why my trading view is not working. We can, if you wanted to, we can now move the stop loss to our break-even point. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that all the time, because what will happen sometimes is the market will come back and test our and touch our stop loss, and then we'll end up with zero. We won't end up losing, but you also won't end up winning. So I want you to be careful about that. So what we would do, okay, thankfully it has loaded back up, is we can say to ourselves now that we can minimize our risk and move our stop loss now if we wanted to, just so that it's all done automatically, literally to this point here, which is the low of the previous candle plus about 5 pips. If you wanted to, if you're not going to be completely active, just in case, you know, something crazy does happen and then it does flip, we can move our stop loss there, because if this happens now, most likely all of those things, dollar, JPY basket, and this will probably tend to all flip around and turn around. Okay. What you said there, Neil, about the, okay, can I move my stop loss up to here? Yes, you can do. But it needs to be at a valid point. So it needs to be, you always need to give it space. Okay. So your stop loss always needs to be below the previous candle low, if you're a buyer. So in this case, the only place you can put it is pretty much where we've put it anyway, which is not in a profitable position, because we still need to give it space, because there is still absolutely zero reason as to why that trade will not meet this level. Yeah. We've done the analysis. We've worked out that there's a high probability the trade's going to come into this point, and this is where we're going to make the most of our profit. And we're going to only close that if something else changes somewhere else. And at the moment, it's not. Yeah. So JPY is moving really, really nicely. I don't know if you remember from the course, but there's such thing called a gap fill. Gap fill basically means that when there's a little gap in the market like we have here, the market will normally come and fill that gap. So there's a high probability that the JPY basket is going to come down into this 5413 level. So that's moving perfectly. Dollar it's fine. It's moving slowly, but it's still moving in the right direction, and it's fine on the 2 hour time frame, and it's fine on the 4 hour time frame for now. And obviously USDJPY also absolutely fine, no reason to close it, still hoping for us to hit that target of 154.49 or whatever it is. So my one right now is here, so this is $520 up in profit. Okay, so this is the difference when you've got a larger account. So mine is currently sitting at $500 in profit. And my target, if it hits the target, would be, yeah, like $900 or something. I think my target's actually in the wrong place. Hold on. Yeah, it is slightly in the wrong place. So $900. So if this hits my target, it will be $900. Now, when you're playing with bigger money like this, and you have these funded accounts, and if you're up $500, then what you can do, you can begin to protect yourself, and you can say, right, okay, let me take half the profit, and then I'll leave the rest to run, but we'll worry about that stuff later down the line. For now, I just want you to focus on the process, which is picking the trade from point A to point B, and then concentrating on the candlestick structure to tell you whether or not you should be in or out of that trade. So yeah, hopefully that helps, guys.